Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest questions that every single new developer faces. With so many choices out there, which programming language should you actually learn first? We're going to put 4 of the heavyweights head-to-head: Python, Java, C++, and C#, to help you figure out the absolute best fit for your goals as we look ahead to 2026.
I know. This question can feel completely overwhelming. But you can relax. The whole point of this explainer is to cut right through all that noise and give you the real clarity you need to pick the perfect language for what you want to do, both personally and in your career.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by setting up our comparison framework. Then we'll dive right into the learning curve for each one, see what you can actually build with them, check out the job market, and then at the very end, we'll put it all together to help you find your perfect match.
Okay, first things first, our comparison framework. Before we jump into the good, the bad, and the ugly of each language, we gotta be clear on how we're actually going to compare them. You know, having a solid game plan like this makes sure we're looking at everything objectively, based on what really matters when you're just starting out. We're gonna break this down using 3 key questions. Number 1, the learning curve. Seriously, how easy is it for a total beginner to pick up? Number 2, applications. What cool stuff can you actually build with it? And number 3, market demand. What's the job scene look like, and where is it headed in the future?
You know, this quote right here just nails it. It's the key takeaway for this whole thing. There is no single best language, period. It's like asking if a hammer is better than a saw. It's a silly question, right? The answer always depends on the job you're trying to do. So our goal isn't to crown some winner, but to help you find the right tool for the project you are excited about.
And that brings us to our first major topic, the learning curve. For anyone new to coding, this can be the biggest deal breaker of all. It's that make or break factor that decides whether you're going to stick with it and succeed, or just get frustrated and quit.
So think of this like a difficulty slider. All the way on the easy side, you've got Python. It is famous for being super beginner-friendly. Then, way over on the other end, you have C++. Learning C++ is kind of like climbing a mountain. It's tough, especially because of things like manual memory management, where you literally have to tell the computer how to manage its own memory. It's a lot. Java and C#, they sit pretty comfortably right in the middle. Let's start with an example. Check out Python. If you want to do the classic Hello World program, it's just this one simple line. That's it. It's so clean and readable, it almost looks like you're just writing in plain English. And that simplicity, that's exactly why everyone recommends it for absolute beginners.
Okay, now let's switch over to Java. To do the exact same thing, you've got all this extra stuff, right? You see public class main and public static void main. All that extra text is what's called boilerplate. Now, it might look a little scary at first, but all that structure actually forces you to be organized, which, trust me, is a huge plus when you start building really big, complex apps.
And here's C++. You can see it's also a bit more involved than Python. You have to include libraries and use some pretty specific syntax. But here's the deal. That complexity is a trade-off for pure power. C++ gives you this incredible, fine-tuned control over the computer's hardware. But for a beginner, that can be a whole lot to take in right at the start.
And finally, C#. You can probably see it looks a lot like Java, which makes sense, but it's kind of like the newer, sleeker version. Microsoft has tweaked it over the years to be just a little bit cleaner and more modern to write.
Okay, so we've talked about how hard they are to learn. But now for the fun part. What's the payoff? What can you actually build with these things? This is all about where each language really flexes its muscles out in the real world.
This table just lays it all out perfectly. If you're into AI, data science, or web development, Python is your absolute go-to. If you're thinking about huge corporate systems like for banks or building Android apps, that's Java's territory. For pure, raw speed, think blockbuster game engines or high-speed trading, C++ is king. And for game development with Unity or building Windows apps, C# is a total powerhouse.
Absolutely love these little nicknames because they help make everything stick. Think of Python as the ultimate Swiss Army knife. It can do a bit of everything. C++ is the performance king, the specialized tool you use when speed is everything. Java is the enterprise giant, built like a tank for big, stable corporate systems. And C# is the modern powerhouse, giving you a great mix of power and modern features.
All right, let's get down to business, jobs, and the future. I mean, let's be real, a huge reason to learn to code is to build a great career. So looking at the job market tells us so much about where these languages stand today and where they're going tomorrow.
Wow, okay, so the numbers here are pretty striking. Python is just a monster, leading the pack by a long shot mostly because of the explosion in AI and data science. Right behind it, you've got the old reliable, Java, and then C#, which is growing all the time.
But, the number of job postings is only part of the picture. The future for all of these languages is bright. Python's growth is basically unstoppable thanks to AI. Java's demand is rock solid because huge companies depend on it. C# is getting bigger and bigger with cloud computing. And C++? Well, there might be fewer jobs, but they are super specialized, and they pay really, really well.
All right, this is it. The grand finale, finding your perfect match. We've looked at the learning curve, what you can build, and the job market. Now it's time to put all those pieces together and figure out the right choice for you. So ask yourself this first. Does the idea of working with massive amounts of data, training in artificial intelligence, or building machine learning models, does that stuff get you fired up? If you're nodding your head and saying yes, then your path is crystal clear. Start with Python. It's easy to learn, and it has these incredible tools that make it the undisputed champion for pretty much anything related to AI and data science. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, but what if you're drawn to things that have to be ridiculously fast? Are you dreaming of building those huge, jaw-dropping video games, or the software that runs our financial markets where every single nanosecond is critical? If that's what gets you excited, then your home is in the world of C++ or C#. C++ gives you that raw, untamed, close-to-the-metal speed. But if you specifically want to get into game development, C# combined with the Unity engine is an absolutely killer combo and the perfect place to start.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. The best language isn't the one that's trending on Twitter. It's the one that gets you excited. The one that aligns with what you want to build is the one you'll actually stick with, practice, and eventually master. That's the secret. And that leads me to my final question for you. Now that you have this framework, what's the first amazing thing you're going to build? Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. If this helped you out, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that little bell so you don't miss what's next. And seriously, drop a comment below. I really want to know which language you're choosing and why.